I hate to say this. I hate to say it. But I'm really starting to think that the only reason Governor Newsom signed that bill to get athletes paid in California is so that he could collect more taxes from them. This was, I mean, really, this is about getting more tax money. It's horrible. In June, Governor Newsom signed off on a $214.8 billion budget, and he allocated $2.4 billion to address the state's housing and homeless crisis. You have a homeless crisis of this magnitude that is getting national attention, and you can only designate 1% of the budget for this? How bad do you really want to get rid of this homeless crisis? I mean, I would think you'd want to get rid of it a little better than 1%. But the problem is you don't know how. You just don't know how to allocate money. And I'm going to give you guys an example of that in a moment. A report to local lawmakers earlier in the year revealed that Los Angeles alone saw a 16% increase in its homeless population over the last year. Well, that is a huge blow to the mayor of Los Angeles. It's like he's working with his hands tied behind his back. What's the mayor's name? Eric Garcetti? He's working with his hands tied behind his back, and on top of that, the officials that work for him, they can't get anything done. Now, from what I've read about Eric Garcetti, I'm not really sure he's not in cahoots with this whole thing as well. It's been kind of negative as far as what I've read. All right, let me give you some figures here. Throwing money at the problem does not solve the problem. Los Angeles alone spent $619 million on the homeless epidemic last year. According to Tommy Lauren, who was being interviewed by Fox News this morning, there was 77 million. Get this, I want you to get this, $77 million given to the shelter expansion project. What did they get for that $77 million? 2 facilities to room 147 people. 147 people, $77 million. Really? Folks, that comes out to $524,000 a person. You know what a person could do with $500,000? You spend $77 million for 147 people. $524,000 a person. I don't even know what to say to that. I'm completely dumbfounded by that. That is just I want to laugh at it, but it's sad. How can it and you want to know why California is just like losing it? What kind of stewardship do you have when you do something like that? That is absurd. It's crazy. Guys, well, I'm going to finish up the story in the next segment, but please, you guys need to vote for, we as a state, we need to vote for different officials because this just cannot keep going on. This absolutely is just a nightmare. Guys, you listen to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Our phone numbers are 559. I don't know. Actually, we probably can't take that because we're at the fair. All right, guys. Oh, good. All right. We will talk to you after the break.
Okay, guys, so your food is in that bag. Your hamburger and your sodas are there. I'll be back.
Perfect. Thank you. I can't see the clock from there, so I don't know.
I can't. I've got to get this thing.
Yeah, I'm just basing it.
Pack on it,
I'm just basing it on this here. So I'm on right now, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to eat some food in front of the. I'm going to eat some food in front of the camera.
I would go ahead. Do it now. Look.
Oh, did she bring a soda?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh.
The one with no ice.
So which one has ice? Oh, I guess we got no straw. That's all right. Oh. I have got to eat some. I am so hungry.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Woo.
Start feeling like a little bit
Lightheaded or something, right? Did you get any food?
Yes.
Oh, what'd you bring? Yep. Oh, this is if I can talk. For those of you on Facebook, I am sorry if I'm eating in front of you. This is the first meal I've had all day. Actually, the last 24 hours. So, excuse me. All right. Yeah, Jose, I'm just keeping track of this with my phone.
Back to the John Meccico Show on the Valley's new talk leader, Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
All right, guys, we are back on Talk Radio 1680 KGED. John Meccico spending the day or the hour with you. Jarris Jackson was on at 2 o'clock, and we had Bill O'Reilly at 3:45, and Guillermo Moreno coming on around 5 o'clock. So stay tuned. As you guys have heard, we are at the Big Fresno Fair, and we have a nice little booth here, and trying to shake hands and introduce ourselves. And if you guys are around, please stop by booth 312 and say hello. And be nice to see some of you. All right. So I started this talking about that California is finally begging for some help from the homeless crisis. Maybe they don't want me to say the word begging, but begging is what it is. And they should be, because it's a mess. If you missed the first segment, we talked about the fact that there's actually 44,000 people sleeping in the streets of Los Angeles on a nightly basis. And that's just in the city. If you include the county, it's over 60,000 people. And finally, Governor Newsom is talking about that this demands action. Well, he's the decision maker. He's the action man. I don't know why he's saying that. Don't tell me. Do something about it. And that's really what it comes down to. I left off saying that it was reported that $77 million was given to the shelter expansion project, and that for that $77 million, there were 2 facilities to room 147 people. Guys, that's at the cost of over $500,000 a person. What kind of stewardship does California have? It makes no sense at all. And this is the part that really makes me laugh. They want the federal government to throw more money their way. When it's mismanaged like that, do you really think that the government is going to do that? It's not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. You can't be serious about asking for more money. Clearly, I cannot emphasize this enough. Clearly, throwing money at the problem is not going to solve the problem. California government has to go back to the beginning and reevaluate how you are doing things. That's what you have to do. It's like a failing sports franchise. The state needs to get rid of some of its players, and they need to get rid of some of its front office people. It's really no different. It's a business. It is a business. In this case, these front office people happen to be government officials. You guys got to start fresh. You got to start over. You got to wipe the slate, wipe it clean, and just start over, because this is an absolute mess. Start at the top. And in my opinion, that means the governor. He has had his hands in California politics for the longest time. I know probably before 2004, but I know from 2004 on, he's been mayor of San Francisco. Then he was lieutenant governor for 8 years. Now he's governor. He's got his fingerprints all over this thing. He cannot excuse himself in this. And he cannot say, we need, something has to happen and we need action. You're the guy. Make it happen. It boggles my mind. It's unfortunate, but listen, people, if we keep doing what we've been doing, and I mean at the voting booth, if we keep doing what we've been doing, we're going to keep getting what we've been getting. If that is what you want, then by all means, keep doing what you're doing. But this crisis, of homelessness in Los Angeles and I've gone to San Diego. I was shocked at how many homeless people were in San Diego. Maybe I shouldn't have been. The weather's so nice that if I was homeless, I'd want to go to a nice climate place. San Francisco we're well aware of that, and just the just people having just feces all over the streets and syringes and needles. This state is a mess. It should be the most beautiful state in the country, and it's just a mess. It's absurd. Guys, I'm going to say it again. California, you have a say in this. Your vote counts. You have the power to change this at the polls. It's simple as that. The next governor's election is in 2022, but congressional seats, they're going to be voted for next year. Start there. Let the Adam Schiffs and Maxine Waters of this state know that enough is enough. I mean, clearly, come on, guys. Get even more local. Your councilmen, your district people. I mean, you got to get involved with this. This is just too much. Tommy Lawrence, she went on to cite the specific Twitter accounts, including those of House Intelligence Committee Adam Schiff, the shifty one, Mad Max, as in Maxine Waters, Ted Lieu, Karen Bass, and Kamala Harris, and Senator Dianne Feinstein. I guess what she was commenting about was the fact that she's been paying attention to their Twitter accounts. Overwhelmingly, it's been about Trump's impeachment, not about the state of California. Nobody is looking out for us. Nobody, and we're slowly going down this hole of just despair. The image that people have around this country of California, it used to, honestly, when I was younger, California was like it. Movie stars and palm trees and sunshine and West Coast beaches and convertible cars and beautiful women. And that's what you used to think about. Now, no, you're not thinking about this stuff now. You're thinking about poop on the streets, syringes, people, just homeless people everywhere. San Francisco having these big, huge stones on sidewalks so that you don't have a bunch of people sleeping on their sidewalks in front of their houses. You got businesses that are running away from the state. I mean, come on. Is this what we're voting for? Look at who's been in charge. I mean, this is not rocket science. This isn't brain surgery. Trust me. I know. It's not brain surgery. This is not that difficult to figure it out. These guys are, look at who's been at the helm for such a long time. You can't keep voting this way, people. You just can't keep doing it. It's criminal. I'm sorry. If anyone should be taken out of office, it's the likes of Maxine Waters. She has tried to make an impression on the big stage, and she has completely forgot to take care of her own backyard. Stop spewing idiotic words against the president, Maxine Waters. You are embarrassing yourself. Every time you open your mouth, you're just filled with hatred. You're just filled with vileness. And the things that you say, it's not becoming of any kind of political leader. And you represent California. Folks, we can't have this. What is it that she's doing for you? Forget Republican, Democrat. Just forget that for a minute. Just the individual. What is she doing for you? What is she doing for you, Los Angeles? Except embarrassing you. That's what she's doing. What is Governor Newsom doing for you? I don't know. Make sure those athletes get paid so I can collect more tax revenue. Maybe that's it. What is Adam Schiff doing for you? He's embarrassing you. Honest to God, I don't even want to. I don't like having any kind of hate for anybody. But man, he really just kind of creeps up there under that hate barometer. He is just an embarrassment. Getting caught in his own lies now. I don't know. You guys need to go back home. And you need to tend to the people who voted you in to do a job. If you can't do the job, get another job. Just do a job. Get a job. Honestly. You're tweeting about how much you hate Donald Trump. That does not serve those who need real help in California. Why is it that you can't understand that? I have no idea. It's really, really, really sad. California, we can do better, but it's up to us to make it happen. It really, really is up to us to make it happen. I love that statement, Newsom. Homelessness is a national emergency. It's a California emergency. It demands more than just words. Do something then. It's a California emergency. Do something about it. Not a national emergency. Stop it. Oh, God, I just get disgusted even having to talk about it. But guys, that's what it is. Well, I'm going to tell you who is fed up. I think the Republicans. I think there are a lot of Republicans fed up, and I do think that there are Democrats fed up. I'm looking around this fair, and I'm seeing. I passed by the Democratic booth earlier, and like just 3 elderly women just sitting there, just kind of chilling. And the Republican booth, I'm like seeing people want to take pictures, and it was actually kind of neat. The story that really caught my attention was Donald Trump and the RNC. Their fundraising. Their Q3 fundraising dwarfs the 2020 Democrats. The numbers are just astounding. They are breaking fundraising records at a massive clip. So check it out. President Trump and the Republican National Committee brought in, and I'll say whopping because I don't know what other adjective to use right now, a whopping $125 million in fundraising in the third quarter of this year. Guys, is he ready to unleash holy you know what on the Dems with that kind of money? Oh, the marketing for the 2020 presidential election is going to be rich. And I don't mean because the money is. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. The Trump 2020 campaign's fundraising arm said Tuesday that it has raised more than $308 million in 2019 and has more than $156 million in the bank. And guys, they're going to need more because he's fighting. He's like the Bruce Lee movie. Donald Trump is like the Bruce Lee movie, and he's sort of like what was that movie? Enter the Dragon, and he's surrounded by like 60 people trying to beat him up, and he's fending everybody off, and he ends up winning the fight. That's what he's like. He's like a Bruce Lee martial artist or something, and everybody that's throwing a punch, he's ducking and weaving, bobbing, moving, slipping and ducking, and then he counter punches. I mean, that's what he's like. That's what it's come down to. But he does need something. He does need financial help. And the fact that he's got Brad Parscale at his side, he's going to be all right, guys. So the Trump 2020 campaign fundraising arm, as I said, $156 million is still in the bank. Politics is an expensive game, folks. Very, very expensive. In comparison, just so you know, former President Barack Obama and the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, they raised just over $70 million in the third quarter of 2011. Look, this may be a very big think about these numbers, because I'm going to give you what the other Dems that are running now, what they're making. But if Barack Obama, 70 million in the third quarter of 2011, Donald Trump at 125 million, and there's nobody even close to raising the money that Barack Obama was raising in 2011. That may be the reason. That very well may be the reason that the Dems are pushing impeachment. No one has come close to raising the $70 million that Barack Obama raised 3 years ago. They're looking at this going, nobody's raising the money. We can't beat them. We can't beat them. Maybe that's what they're doing. I have no idea. No clue. But that makes sense to me. Now, in all fairness, the truth being said, it's only Donald Trump on one side. And it's, there's however many candidates on the other these days. So that both gets spread out. But he's crushing it. The one good comparison is Barack Obama. And he is crushing it. President Trump has built a juggernaut of a campaign, said Brad Parscale, raising record amounts of money at a record pace. Oh, and yes, I will say this, that yesterday he was, look, Brad Parscale, he was very cordial, and he, just in case you Dems are wondering, he did thank Nancy Pelosi, and he did thank Adam Schiff for helping him raise that much money. The Dems sometimes are just their worst enemy. No pun intended, but they will shoot themselves in the foot, just like Beto became the #1 gun salesman in the world. So, yeah, when we get back, I'm going to talk about the scoreboard of what's going on here, because it's pretty amazing to me. You guys are going to enjoy these numbers. All right, guys, you listen to Talk Radio 1680 KGED, and I have no idea if we're taking calls. I don't think we are, but I think we are. I've been told that we are. All right, guys. Numbers are 559-442-1680, and we will see you after the break. are not in there. Thank you. Well, Jay, one thing. It couldn't have gone very far. No. They fall on the floor? Somewhere. But not on the table. But it's all around everywhere. Oh, are they here? They fall there, maybe? Oh, here they are. Oh! I was wondering about that. Yeah, me too. Got another hamburger. Yeah, can you hand it to me? I'd love it. Oh, sorry. Thank you, sir. You sure they're not in there? Drugstore, Hey, hey, Jose. Jose or Woody? Hey, did I cut out too early on that? Because I heard the music. I thought I had like another minute to go. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. How much time do we have left?
Remember, they can hear everything you say out
Out here. Yeah. 30 seconds? Ooh, okay. Because I'm putting it to my phone because I can't hear the, I can't see the timer. That sandwich will have to wait.
The Valley's new talk leader, Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Here again is John Meccico.
All right, guys, welcome back to Talk Radio 1680 KGED, and we are broadcasting live from the big Fresno Fair. I've lived here 10 years. This is my first time here, and I'm kind of sorry that I didn't come previously. It's actually kind of cool. So we've got a nice little booth here, booth 312. We would love to. We're in the Commerce Building, and we would love to meet some of you for sure, all of you actually. So if you're going to be at the fair, please stop by. Let's shake hands and get to know each other. Yeah, good time, good foods. I may have to have Jairus come on in the next segment just to talk more about what he's experiencing here. All right, so we left off talking about the Trump and Republican National Committee fundraising, and that he is blowing the socks off it, probably partly thanks to Pelosi and Schiff. So we want to give out we want to give a hat tip to them. Thank you. It's the only thing I'll ever thank them for. So I thought I would talk about some of the other numbers and just how it compares to the Trumpster. Here's the scoreboard, guys. Let's go to the scoreboard. Here are the totals that have been released by Democrats so far, and this is from CBS News. Kamala Harris. She has raised $11.6 million in the third quarter of 2019. She had nearly $10 million in cash on hand. Apparently, Harris has raised $35.5 million overall in this campaign, compared to Donald Trump's $308 million. Donald's raised about 9 times as much as she has. So, and look, let's face it, she's not going anywhere. Good. Cory Booker. After a last-minute push to raise $1.7 million before September 30th, Cory Booker's campaign reported raising over $6 million. Cory's people, they really didn't want to give us any more information about how much he has total and so on and so forth, probably because it's an embarrassing number. Cory's going to be out of this thing fairly soon. Bernie Sanders, who we will have to talk a little more about shortly. Bernie Sanders announced his campaign raised $25.3 billion in the third quarter, most of any 2020 Democratic presidential candidate in a quarter to date. According to the campaign, September was its single best month of fundraising. So Trump raised about 5 times as much as Bernie, but I'm good numbers for Bernie. Can't say it's not. It is. And then the surprise, the dark horse, Pete Buttigieg. Mayor Pete raised a surprising $19.1 million. It's a lower amount than the second quarter where he hauled in almost $25 million, but still a significant haul. I did not expect to see that he was raising that kind of money because his poll numbers really are not reflective of him doing also well. And, the thing is, he's now a legitimate dark horse because he may not be polling well, but he has a lot of money to continue this for a long period of time. So he can run this race for in a substantial amount of time with the money that he has. So if you're a dark horse, that is what you want. You need at least cash to stay in the race and hope that something happens. The Cory Bookers of the world, Kamala Harris of the world, and some of these others, probably not so much. Buttigieg, raise some money. At the time of this writing, Elizabeth Warren has not released her total. There's no numbers on Biden in this article either, but those are the numbers that we have. The one thing that this does do, it really makes the impeachment thing look really, really bad. It makes it look very foolish, very silly. People are obviously starting to vote with their wallets. And that just tells you that the Dems really do not have the support that they think they have regarding this impeachment thing. They live in this little bubble in the Washington Beltway, and I guess they're being told by those people that they do have an audience for this. They don't. They're fools. Now, if money means anything, Trump is crushing it. There's no doubt about it. Now, in all fairness, as I said earlier, if you're a Republican, you only have one candidate to put your money towards. If you're Democrat, the wealth gets spread out a little bit, and we have to acknowledge that. But even with that being said, the Trumpster is crushing it. You have to admit, Trump right now is dominating like no other candidate has ever had before. I mean, he's dominating Barack Obama's numbers. That is very telling. Very, very telling. We mentioned Bernie Sanders a little while ago. And Bernie has succumbed to some bad health, unfortunately. Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders is off the campaign trail for a few days after he had an emergency procedure Tuesday to repair a blocked artery, his campaign announced. The campaign said Wednesday that doctors have successfully inserted 2 stents, not 1, but 2, although they say there was 1 blocked artery. And the candidate is now conversing and in good spirits, but will be taking a few days of rest. Bernie is 78 years old. He should have been taking a few days of rest anyway. But this has definitely now sidelined him a little bit. Sanders' campaign said in a statement, "We are canceling his events and appearances until further notice, and we will continue to provide appropriate updates." That means he's not going to be in Fresno. He was supposed to be here in Fresno, California, on Thursday. He was doing a speech or a rally here, but that is now on the back burner. So whether he will come back to Fresno, I have no idea. But that's where we're at. The Vermont Senator began to experience some chest discomfort during an event on Tuesday evening in Las Vegas. I don't I don't know where he was frequenting, but okay. And he was taken to the hospital for medical evaluation and treatment, probably. I don't want to venture to guess which hospital, but probably UMC, where it was discovered that he had a blocked artery. Obviously, we hope that Bernie Sanders has a full recovery. We don't want anything bad to happen to Bernie, all right? We may not agree with his politics, but that doesn't mean we want anything bad to happen to him. After all, we aren't Rashid Tlaib. But it does raise the question, what are the Democrats trotting out as presidential candidates? First, there was Biden, whose neurosurgeon has to confirm with us that he is as sharp as ever. You guys remember that? The neurosurgeon who did surgery on his brain, like, nah, no problem here. He's doing fine. But, it's not really a ringing endorsement considering all the gaffes that come out of his mouth. If someone tells you that they don't think that Joe Biden has lost a few miles per hour on the fastball, they're not being honest with you. Let's face it. If they tell you that they're not concerned about possible early dementia with Biden, nobody wants to say it. But you would not be telling the truth if you said that it did cross your mind. It has crossed all of our minds. Let's be honest about this. Now we have Bernie with 2 stents placed in his heart. Folks, he's 78 years old. And we see how wound up he can get when stumping the campaign trail. I mean, he's got the hair going in every direction, and he's just, at the top of his lungs, and he's, touting what he touts, and, wants to give free things to everybody, and, he gets mad, and look, as much as some may like him, it's got to concern you a little bit that his health may not be enough to take him full term. It has to concern you with that. He may not be healthy enough for a full term. It would worry me. It absolutely would. I mean, how much confidence does anybody usually have with a vice president? I mean, I have confidence in Pence that he would do the job. But, I mean, for the most part, it's not something that's really talked about. You're not voting for the vote doesn't happen because you're waiting for Bernie to die. And when Bernie dies, then, okay, we got our guy in office. That's not the way we vote. If you're voting for the guy, you want to see him go full term, preferably 2 full terms. 78, 2 stents. If he was to go 2 full terms, he'd be 86. Ah, man, that's a little rough. Sanders often jokes about his age at town halls and other events, especially when interacting with young people. And that's actually part of the gimmick. I mean, that's part of it is that's what attracts people to Bernie, is that he's kind of that older guy that for some reason seems to be cool around the young kids and they just kind of like him. And he's his own guy. I mean, he believes what he believes. He doesn't waver. In that respect, I respect him. But I don't agree with any of it. But I give him his just due that he has conviction in what he says, in what he believes. And young people appreciate it. Of course, they're also going to appreciate all the free stuff he's trying to give them, no doubt. The thing is this, his health and his age, although it was kind of like a joke at one time, it's really not a joke any longer. Suddenly, it's not as funny. This is now pretty serious. We'll see if it affects his poll numbers. I don't believe it will. I think those that are Bernie supporters are with him no matter what. They just are. But I do not think that this will help him gain any new supporters, which is actually what he needs if he's going to make a serious run as a Democratic nominee. If he's going to make a serious run as the Democratic nominee, he needs more supporters. Stuff like this, if you maybe were thinking about leaning that way, it does not help your cause. Yeah, I mean, and he really can't afford to take much time off the campaign trail, and he has to. And there's nothing saying that it's not going to happen again. It should be noted that Sanders recently canceled some appearances in South Carolina because he lost his voice. The campaign said at that time that he felt fine. Was it related to this? I don't know. Do we trust his campaign manager? Again, I don't know. What I do know is this. Right now, he doesn't have the healthiest of hearts. He's had 2 stents put in. Look, cardiology, the innovation that they've had with cardiothoracic surgery, I mean, he could go on for a long time. I'm not saying that he can't. But does it have to be looked at? Do you have to consider it? Absolutely. Bernie, we certainly hope that you feel better. I certainly hope that he feels better. I mean, if anything, I may not agree with him, but he is entertaining. He's very, very entertaining. I mean, when he's got the hair going and he's pointing and he's screaming and he's yelling and he's getting in a verbal discussion with Biden on stage and they're calling each other out. We got a 76-year-old and a 78-year-old ready to duke it out. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's good TV. I don't want to see Bernie go anywhere. Bernie's the man. Bernie's the man. Again, don't agree with the politics, but Bernie's the guy. So we wish Bernie well. We want him to get healthy. We don't wish anybody bad. Like I said, we're not Rashida Tlaib, right? Guys, you're listening to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Our phone numbers are 559-442-1680. We are coming to you from the big Fresno Fair. Stop in and join us. Say hello. We'll talk to you after the break. You want to jump in? You want to jump in? Okay.
That is the weirdest thing.
What's that? something happen?
I can't find him anywhere.
You still can't find him. All right, when I'm done this, I'm going to help you search for him
All right.
before I go to the rescue mission. I got to do the first 15 minutes of Guillermo show.
Why?
You got something going on. You said just the first segment.
Can't beat the Whopper.
What's that?
Can't beat Burger King's burger.
I know. I think it was the best.
I wonder if Lisa might have picked it up.
Maybe they were hers. Picked up what? Oh.
Readers, doesn't she?
God. I don't think she would have done that though.
I don't know.
Yeah. Man, I had all these other stories to do. So much for that. Well, yeah, grab a. So, oh, you gotta, I think, one or three, but turn it to 3 o'clock. One of the first one or second, but turn it to the 3 o'clock position. Oh, no.
Back to John Meccico on Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
All right, guys, welcome back to Talk Radio 1680 KGED, and I am here with the awesome Jarris Lee Jackson. What's
John,
up?
how's it going, man?
Hey, man,
I mean, we're here at the Big Fresno Fair.
Yeah, yeah.
We're alive.
We're alive.
It's safer than I thought. There are metal detectors that you have to go
That's
through.
true.
Which, honestly, I think that's really going to make people feel even more safe. So I don't really even know
Yeah.
if that's a negative.
I know, actually, I agree with you. When we came in, I mean, there was plenty of security here, and I thought that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's excellent. And, I mean, everybody was very friendly so far, and we've got to shake hands and meet a few people that have stopped by.
Yes, we want you to come out here. Listen, Commerce Building really has everything you need. It's got the Coca-Cola flavored cotton candy, all right? And it's the mint and all the soda flavored cotton candy. We also have the famous cinnamon rolls, which is why you come to the fair. These hot and delicious. They feel like, honestly, you could weight lift with them cinnamon rolls.
You didn't ask me about those.
Well, because if you say no to those, like, I'm going to start a petition that you have to get kicked out of the station. Because if you don't like cinnamon rolls,
no, I love cinnamon rolls.
especially fair cinnamon rolls,
No.
we've got a real problem.
I know when the scent of it starts coming this way.
Yeah, that's how you know you're at the fair, man.
I know. It's
So
gonna be pretty
anyway,
rough.
yeah, Talk Radio here in the Commerce Building. Come by, shake our hands, enter to win. By the way, enter to win a life-size cutout of the presidential candidates. I know what you're thinking. You guys are all neo-Nazi white supremacist skinheads. Well, maybe you, because you got the bald head. But you guys are all skinheads, so you're only giving giving out Trump ones, right? No, 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 you little dumb socialist. That's where you would be mistaken. We've got Donald. We've got the guy that's actually going to win in 2020. But we got the losers as well.
No, we have
we
some
got
losers.
Pocahontas. We got Bernie Sanders. We got Joe Biden. So come down, say hi, shake our hands, enter to win a life-size cutout
By the
of
way,
one of these all the leading presidential candidates.
and Jairus had a great idea that if we could get one of those nasal cannulas that hospital patients can put to their nose, he wanted to have that. Stop! Don't do that. Uh-oh. There it is. There.
Now,
No.
you think
we,
that
we
was
don't.
me?
We don't
Now,
want.
you
we
think
don't
that
want
was me making fun of Sanders dying? It wasn't. That's America if Sanders wins the presidency. See, I wasn't making fun of Sanders. No, but
very good.
how cruel do you think I am?
A little bit.
No, I would never know. Come on, we're not liberals. We don't patronize and make fun of people.
No, and we
That's
wa-
America if he gets in the White House.
And we want Bernie to get better just simply for the entertainment value alone. So,
John, you and I have both said this.
What?
Whether it's Ruthie on the Supreme Court, whether it's Bernie, we
Yeah.
want them to be around so we can watch their house of cards fall and they can watch it with us.
Yeah, you know, I talked about RBG.
I don't want Ruthie to kick the bucket.
Yeah,
I want her to stay on there. Trump put up a conservative and destroy her entire legacy, and she has to watch it. That would make me way more happy than her passing away.
You somehow hide your meanness with good verbal discussion. It's very, very.
Did I hide the meanness?
So,
all right, so we got some stuff going on at the fair.
I want to tell people that normally general fares for adults is $12, children 6 to 12 is $8, and children under 5 are free.
Mhm.
But today, I believe it is $5 for everybody. It's kind of like a first day thing.
All right.
Yeah, so
Sounds good.
Good day to come on in. Horse racing is dark today. There is no horse racing.
All right.
But
That's why that other three-letter station
but
is in here. There's no horses to talk about.
it does start tomorrow. Post time at 1:15 p.m.
Uh-huh.
And they're off. Let me see what else. We had the cheerleading squad here earlier today.
What school were they from?
I'm trying to remember
these
now.
wonderful women and ladies.
Burton Middle School.
Burton Middle School.
Yeah,
they were up here doing a little cheer routine for us.
They-
It was great.
It was cute.
What a great way to kick off the fair. We just needed like a confetti cannon or something. Cut the ribbon like we're
Yeah.
Lee Brand. It would have been great.
And for those of you who take your education serious and don't plan to go to Seattle to get dumbed down a little bit, Fresno County High School.
You don't want ethnics. You don't
Oh
want
my gosh,
ethnic
that
math?
was such a scary thing that you told me earlier today.
Yeah, and it's the truth. That's why it's even more
Oh
scary.
man, so tell them what it is.
I threw the.
You throw it away.
I threw it away.
So basically,
Math
Seattle.
is Seattle public school system K through 12. It's going to be math. I don't even know what it was. It's ethnic math studies, and it's basically instead of just teaching the kids math, which the schools already aren't doing that. That's why all these other countries are kicking our butts. Now it's going to teach them about how math and science and arithmetic have been used to oppress marginalized communities and communities of color. It's basically going to be Black Lives Matter and Al Sharpton giving your children a math lesson.
See,
But the last thing they're learning is
get
numbers.
your
The
kids
last thing they're
out
actually
of there.
learning is numbers.
Yeah. How numbers became some kind of identity
The numbers
politics.
are racist. Guillermo and I say it all the time. Math is racist, but we say it because we're trying to look dumb, make jokes. These people are serious about it.
All right, so for people that are serious, the Fresno County High School and 8th grade students with a GPA of 4.0 or higher
Oh, these kids are heading
will
somewhere
be
bright.
honored today at 6 p.m. as part of the 8th annual 4.0 and above program. Now check this out. These high achievers will have the chance to win $75,000 in scholarships, iPads, laptops, plus one lucky high school student will win a 2020 Toyota Corolla.
For the 4.0, they're going to win a 2020
But you
Corolla.
got a shot at it. Take this, says this all takes place in the Brian I. Tatarian grandstand. Good for them. That's great.
I hope so.
Yeah, you
I
know
mean,
what?
back when I
They
went
deserve
to
to be
school,
rewarded for that. So that's
these 4.0 kids, they're always jerks, but I hope these ones are better.
we have a country music singer, Chris Jansen, here today.
Oh, really?
You know?
Yeah.
Really?
He
Okay.
makes us, it could buy me a boat.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
Yeah.
Buy me a boat. I haven't listened to music in a while. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on with the Fresno Fair.
I haven't listened to music in a while.
I
What are you
swear I
talking about?
haven't. Yeah.
Well, the music selection that they have here at the fair is amazing, by the
I've
way.
heard old music. Like I could not tell you what one song from some of these pop artists are. I mean, I'm not a clue.
Well, we wouldn't invite you or want to kill your brain cells by inviting you to listen
Yeah,
to pop
I mean, it's
music.
it really, yeah, it's all about talk radio, man.
And that's where it is.
That's where it's at, absolutely. So anyways, guys, a whole lot happening here at the fair. Where is the address here? Chance and Butler? Where do we tell people that it's at? I don't know. I saw a chance. I saw a Kings Canyon area.
We got dropped off on the chance side when we were coming through here. Listen, all I know, you want to know what's really funny though?
What's that?
Why tell people the address anymore? Because everyone has phones. Everyone, and
That's
by
true.
the way, outside of this building, I've never seen so many Obama phone setups. There are about 18 right next to each other. Like,
What do you mean Obama phone setups?
you know those little tins? It's like a high-speed phone.
Oh,
There were like 18 of those set up just back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
really?
Yeah, I know this much. Those aren't set up outside the Clovis Rodeo, I can tell you that much. All right. Yeah, I had to get in my daily dig at Fresno. You know I
Oh,
did.
man.
You know I did.
Well, anyways, the people have been friendly. Some good
They have
booths.
been.
They have all kinds of things from.
Republican booth has been yet again. I know you're gonna say you're just biased because of this. The Republican booth really has been doing great. Once you get
They
off
actually
the,
have. I know.
Once you get off the, I'm gonna go
I'm
stroll.
seeing people sign up and all day long here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go stroll by the Democrat booth just to see what's going on. It looked like an AARP
Nothing.
convention
Yeah,
when I passed by earlier
there was
today.
nothing going on.
So
there.
we gotta go see what's going on over there. But things are going pretty good. A lot of people, and John. A lot of non-white people.
Are they signing up
And they're taking pictures with the Trump
with the
cutout.
Trump cutout? Tell me it's not true.
But don't they know Trump hates brown people?
Don't they know that? Don't they understand?
I guess not.
Guys, you listen to Talk Radio 1680 KGED, and the Gilmore Moreno Show will be coming up next, so stick around.
I'm getting what he said.
Hey, Jose. Oh. Hey, Jose. Jose, everybody. Hey, so I'm doing